Are people in Shanghai actually obsessed with coffee, or are they just pretending? When you think of China, your brain automatically goes straight to tea. It's a deep-rooted assumption we all have. China equals tea culture, period. But what if I told you that the city with the highest number of coffee shops on this entire planet isn't New York, London, or Milano? It is right here in Shanghai. Shanghai has over 10,000 coffee shops. To put that into perspective, that is more than double the number of the cafes in New York City, completely destroying London and Tokyo. When many travelers land here for the first time, their minds are genuinely blown by this lifestyle plot twist. Today, we are skipping Starbucks entirely. I'm taking you to the most coffee-dense neighborhood in the world to show you how a traditional tea-drinking nation created the ultimate modern coffee capital and why it's going to completely change how you view modern China. Let's do a quick experiment. I'm going to walk down this single street and count how many coffee shops we can see. I guess maybe 6 or 7. We are now at the city center and there should be more coffee shops than where I live. Okay, let's go! Here comes the first coffee shop called Bread, Coffee and the Beautiful Weather. The vibe is so cozy, they also sell good-looking desserts. The second one is KK Department Coffee. It should be inside the park over there. Next to it is the third one, Coffee Hana. Lovely name. I can feel the artistic atmosphere. And the fourth one, wow, they have both Chinese and English menu friendly to visitors. Its name is BPC. The fifth one, Lanners. Across the street is another one coffee shop, but I'm not sure, or it is a bagel shop. Maybe we can ignore this one. Behind me is a sixth one. Wow, I like the decoration. They have coffee, bakery, desserts, everything. The name is Daydreaming. Interesting name. The seventh one at the corner is Big Sur Coffee. The space design is amazing. They made some coffee making area in the center so they could better serve the customers. The eighth one, Big and Small Happiness. They are already closed. Let's skip this one. And the ninth one is a tiny coffee shop. It's only 3 square meters. Then Rollins Coffee is the 10th. Also closed. I just realized most of the cafes close at 5 p.m. The 11th. The name is Metal Hands. This one is famous. I have heard of it before, so it is quite busy now. And the 12th, Wutong Restaurant and Cafe. Wutong is the name of the trees planted along the road. Lock In. This is a chain coffee shop brand. Value for money. I remember they also have outlets in the US, but they need to clean their windows. Okay, I have finished this street. The final number of coffee shops is 13. Honestly, this is completely out of my expectation. Now I totally believe in that 10,000 number. In fact, if you go to the nearby Jing'an district, there are literally 57 cafes per square kilometer. This sounds like Shanghai runs on coffee, right? But here's the absolute mind bender. There is another number that makes zero sense. Shanghai's per capita coffee consumption is only about 50 to 70 cups a year. Compare that to Tokyo at over 200 cups, or Seoul at nearly 190, not to mention those Western countries. So let's address the elephant in the room. Are people in Shanghai actually obsessed with coffee, or are they just pretending? Is this whole 10,000 coffee shops just a giant bubble? Well, before we write this off as just a massive cultural flex, we need to talk about some instant context. First, you have to look at the speed of growth. China's national average recently hit around 30 cups per year, which is up massively from just a few years ago. Shanghai is at nearly 70 cups, already double the national average. Within China, it's the undisputed hyper-caffeinated capital. Second, Tokyo and Seoul had a massive head start. Japan's coffee culture dated back to the 19th century, and Korea's modern cafe scene matured in the 1980s. China's boom, only took off in the last 10 years. Comparing Shanghai to Seoul right now is like comparing a teenager to a PhD student. But that still doesn't answer the mystery. How does Shanghai keep that 10,000 businesses alive if the average person only buys one coffee a week? The secret is Shanghai's cafes are not actually selling coffee. They are selling everything: space, vibes, and premium real estate, flowers, books, gifts. If you walk down the street right now, you will see three completely different worlds happening at the exact same time. Over at a subway station, you will see office workers running into a Manner coffee at 7 a.m., grabbing a $2 shot of pure fuel, and sprinting to work. That's pure survival. But 3 blocks over, you'll find another cafe where people are ordering $10 single origin pour-overs, sitting on a leather couch, and staying for 4 hours to gossip or close business deals. They are not paying for the liquid, they are renting an office. And then you have places like giant Starbucks Reserve Roastery downtown, which has clocked over 18 million visitors. It's practically an amusement park. Even tourists from Seoul walk in with their gels on the floor because they have never seen coffee scaled like a Hollywood movie. So is it a bubble? I think no. It's just that coffee here has evolved into a social Swiss Army knife. Maybe only 3,000 of these shops survive by selling actual caffeine, but the other 7,000, they are selling atmosphere, backdrops for your photos, a place to escape the concrete jungle, and pure emotion. But how do locals actually navigate this madness without getting tourist trapped? You really only need to know 3 more concepts to understand this entire city's coffee revolution. As I mentioned with Manner, your everyday morning survival fuel, the entire experience here is completely frictionless. You order on an app while walking down the street, pay with a quick face scan, and by the time you step into the shop, your iced latte is already sitting on the counter waiting for you. It takes exactly 3 seconds. No awkward small talk with a cashier, no hidden sales tax added as a register. And the best of all, absolutely zero tipping culture. If the screen says 15 RMB, which is about $2, you pay exactly 15 RMB and you leave. But if Manner is your high-speed fuel, independent shops are your artistic escape. Shanghai has turned coffee into a blank canvas for mixology. If you want the absolute pinnacle of this, you have to find the legendary spot called OPS. This place doesn't even sell regular lattes, they only release 4 to 5 experimental drinks a season, blending espresso with fruits, local teas, spices, and rare liquors. People will literally stand in line for over an hour just to get a single cup. It completely redefines what coffee can be. Now, if you want to completely escape the concrete jungle and see where China's coffee culture gets truly mind-blowing, you need to find a place called One Step Garden. Imagine you are in London or New York. If you want to enjoy a coffee inside a historic 300-year-old heritage site or in the middle of a massive botanical park, it's either blocked behind an expensive tourist ticket or reserved for some private club. Shanghai completely democratized it. One Step Garden specializes in putting premium coffee shops inside historic villages, protected old mansions, and lush public parks. The coffee quality itself is solid, but the real product here is the space. For the price of a $4 latte, you are invited to sit under ancient wooden beams, look out at the gorgeous traditional gardens, and just melt into the local culture for hours. It is the ultimate luxury experience, but made for everyday people. But what if you don't even want to walk downstairs? That brings us to how Shanghai actually sustained 10,000 cafes. It integrated coffee into the city's digital grid. In China, you open an app on your phone, order from an artisanal shop a mile away, and through a highly organized delivery network, it arrives at your exact location in about 20 minutes flat. It is packed in a specialized bags with ice packs, so your Americano stays ice cold, and hot latte stays steaming hot. And the delivery fee is usually less than $0.50. And again, no tipping expected. The price you see is what you pay. All in all, Shanghai took a classic Western lifestyle element, combined it with insane digital infrastructure, added a touch of Chinese culinary imagination, and turned it into the most vibrant street culture in the world. If you are planning a trip to China, I highly suggest making Shanghai your very first stop. On the one hand, the city has its own deep history and futuristic architecture, which we broke down in our previous 3-day Shanghai itinerary video. But on the other hand, it is an ultimate soft landing city. If you ever feel overwhelmed by the intense shift in food or culture, you can walk into any neighborhood here and instantly find a world-class version of your familiar Western lifestyle. Before you go, I have one question for you. Would you ever try a coffee mixed with Chinese liquor, or do you prefer to stick to your classic latte? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button for real, honest insights into modern China. I'm Vicky, your China lifestyle decoder. See you in the next one. Cheers!